Hello, my name is Olakunle Obademi, and this is my CSE 341 Library Management API project. This API is built using Node.js, Express, and MongoDB, and it is deployed on Render. It supports full CRUD operation and uses GitHub Open Authentication to protect sensitive routes. I will now open my Render to display that Library API is running. As you can see, Library API is running. And even though Library API is live and running, we can also see that logged in user is null, which means that this very user is not signing using GitHub, and as such, it would affect some privileges, which is it will not be able to get some endpoints like the get, the post, the put. Meanwhile, there are other endpoints that are in public folder, which are the get and the get by ID. We will speak more about that as we continue in the video explanation. I will quickly walk you through my folders on my VS Code. These are my files. They hold the controller, the DB, the middleware, the model folder, the route, and the seed. The project follows standard Express API architecture. Route define the endpoints, controllers handle business logic, model define MongoDB schemas, and middleware is used for validation and authentication. And in my route folder, we have my book.js. And inside this book.js, we have route get, which is used to get whole contact or whole book, as the case may be. The get routes are public, meaning any user can retrieve book data without logging in, so it doesn't require any login. And if we move to the other three, which is the post, put, and delete, you can discover that it's restricted. So without proper login, information from creating a book, from editing a book, or for deleting a book will not be possible, because those want to require proper authentication and authorization before such activity can be done. And also in my malware, we have the authenticate file, and here the middle where check if the user is authenticated using passport and GitHub open authorization. If the user is not logged in, the API respond with a 401 unauthorized error, as we can see as we go ahead. And now yeah, and this is to explain that get all and get a book by ID does not require signing. Remember that the logged in user here is still none, which means the user is not logged in. And if we try to get this endpoint, which is all book, if we try it out, this will come true because it does not require any authentication. And these are the list of books I have there, as you can see. And I can do the same thing if I want to retrieve. For instance, if I want to retrieve by ID, this is the fourth in our stars. If I want to retrieve this by ID, it's going to come true because it does not require any authentication for us to do that. You can see the fourth in our stars, which means this endpoint retrieve all book and does not require authentication. And remember that authentication is required to perform creating, editing, and actually deleting. So because I've already copied one of the IDs, which is for fourth in the stars, I'm going to copy it and go to delete and see if I can perform a delete exercise. Try out. It's going to come back with error 400. As you can see, it comes back with error 401. And the message is unauthorized. Please log in with the GitHub. That was because we have not logged in. Okay, and now let's go back and log in and see if that will make a difference, if that authentication and authorization is effective. Okay. Now it has changed to BigBrain77, which is my user. So it means I am now logged in. Let's see if we'll now be able to do a delete operation that I did initially, and it comes back with error 401, which says unauthorized. All right, I'm going to get a book from the list of books that we have there and see if I can delete it. Remember, this is the ID for the fourth in our stars. Let's see, is the number one that I have here. Go back to delete and see if that would be effective. Delete book. We can see it comes back with an error response of 200, which means the book is now deleted. And we can as well try it for other application. Let's see if I go back and pick another book, for instance, go back to get all, pick another book and see if I can edit it. As we can see, the first one that was there before is now deleted, and now we have another one, the girl with the dragon tattoo. So I am going to edit this. I'm going to edit this. I'll be editing using put. Let's remember that after logging in with the GitHub, the section is stored using passport. The API now recognizes the authenticated user. Remember, that was why we are able to use the put. We are able to work on the put, on the delete, and on the post. And for me to be able to, okay, I need the ID. And for me to be able to edit any document, I will need the ID, and I will also need the body. The body is the girl with the dragon typhoon. Remember that. Okay, that's correct. And the author is think lasting. Let me not make a mistake with that. We can just change some things and see if it's going to be updated. This is GT 05. The genre is crime. Okay, the genre for girls with the dragon, if we check initially, it was crime, but I'm going to leave it as fantasy. And the published year was 2005, and I'm going to leave it as 2026, just to see if that changes to be effective. And the number of page for the book is 465, but I'm going to change it to 500. And the copy that we have on the shelf is 4, and I'm going to just change it to 4,000, just to be sure that it changes. And I'm going to leave the shelf location as A1. So if I effect this and it's able to change, which it should, if I click execute, it should. As you can see, it responds with code 200, which means we were able to change it. Let's go back and see if that changes was actually effective. If I go back to my get all and see the girl with the dragon tattoo, it has come back. We changed the page to 500, which is now, we changed the publisher year. We changed the genre from crime to fantasy, and we also changed the chef location, which was A3. We changed it to A1, and we can see it's actually working because of the authentication privileges works for put, for delete, and for post. So the API is deployed on render and running successful in the production. This project demonstrates a RESTful API design, MongoDB integration, open authentication, protected routes, and proper deployment. Thank you.